Hi, sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. Um, so I know that you have been working super hard this week on your persuasive writing. And I did get a message yesterday from your sub that some of you feel like your persuasive writing is done. And I just wanted to um, come on because your persuasive writing is not done, because we haven't even talked about your conclusion yet. So a lot of you have for your conclusion just the basic whatever you could think of on the fly when you were doing your first draft. And remember, your first draft was just basically a skeleton of making sure that you got your ideas down. And then we went back and we honed each part. So I want to talk about conclusions today. And the reason I want to talk about conclusions today is so that we can get it down um, because the end of the quarter is coming up. And so I want to make sure that I've talked about it. I want to make sure that it's in your ear. And we're going to talk about conclusions today. You're going to be thinking a little bit about your conclusions. And then tomorrow, I'm going to give the sub something completely different for you to do for writing so that you don't have to even think about your persuasive writing. And then on Monday, when I get to be face to face with all of you again, then we can look at it again and make sure that we're editing and revising it and making sure that we've really honed our paper to the best possible wonderfulness that you can do. So what I'm positive you meant when you said you were done with your persuasive writing is that you have honed your introduction, you've honed your reasoning. Now, paragraphs number 1, 2, and 3, you have 3 beautiful body paragraphs that have all of the different parts that we need. You have 1 counterclaim paragraph that has all of the parts of the counterclaim paragraph, and you have a rebuttal that really just tells the other person exactly why you're correct, and if they disagree with you, they might be wrong. But what we have not talked about, that's just going to be in my way, we have not talked about is the conclusion. So we're going to take a look at the conclusion today, like I said. So for your conclusion, you're going to start out by using a transition that restates your claim. So if we look at the example, it says, in conclusion, it is clear that hats should be allowed to be worn at school. So all I've done is I have this transition and I have restated my claim. Again, I didn't write this. This is an example that I found. So we have a restatement. Then you're going to restate your reasons. So here, reasons such as they can be used to improve behavior, they can improve health, and they may make it easier to make friends are among the many benefits to including them at school. So we have the 3 reasons that they gave. We are not going to reintroduce our counterclaim. We're not going to bring it up again because we don't want our readers to be thinking about that counterclaim. We want to bring it up and then we want to let it go. So we're going to give our reasons as to why our claim should happen. So we did both of those things in our introduction. We stated our claim and we stated our reasons. We did both of those things. We're going to then remind why the topic is important. Again, we did that in our introduction, and it's going to sound like you're being repetitive and you're going to feel like you're being repetitive, but that's okay, because why do we repeat things? We repeat things because they're important. Okay, so that's why we're going to come back to them in our conclusion. So if we look at the example, we restated our claim, then we restated all of our reasons, and then we reminded our reader why it's important. As hats continue to be popular, this is an issue that will only become more and more relevant, meaning this is going to keep coming up again and again and again. It's not going to stop. You just saying no over and over again is not going to make a difference. So you might as well just pay attention and listen now and see what you can figure out. Like, this needs to happen now because it's going to keep on coming up. Okay, so again, all three of these things we've already done once. The big, important part of our conclusion is this last part, and that is the call to action. In the call to action, we are asking our reader to do something that's going to make your claim become a reality. So we're saying, hey, reader, this is what you need to do if you agree with me. If you agree with me, you need to do this. Okay? So this is the most important part of the conclusion. Everything else has been repeated. Okay, we've just refreshed our reader on all of these things. So just in case our reader has the gall to forget what we were saying, we've reminded them. But now we're going to tell them exactly what they need to do to make it happen. So in our mentor text, it says, please do your part and find the time to speak with an administrator about what they can do to help bring change to our school and its rules about students and cats. That's a lot of words. Maybe not the best, but it does tell us exactly what the author wants the reader to do. The author wants the reader to speak with an administrator and let the administrator know this is what we want. Okay, so the writer is telling his classmates, is telling his teachers or her classmates, hey, I'm not the only one, right? Everybody thinks that. So if we're all thinking this, you need to take notice, right? So it's almost like encouraging somebody to write a letter to the government or encouraging somebody to talk to a teacher. Like you're encouraging that a conversation come up. Okay, so conclusions, there's many different ways that you can start your conclusion. The most popular one by far is simply by saying in conclusion. It doesn't necessarily need to start with those things, but it is a good way to keep your paper flowing, to have a transition between this is my counterclaim body paragraph, and now I'm going to bring my computer. Now I'm going to bring my paper to a close. So I want to draw your attention to my mentor text that I have been working on. If I can, it's going to let me. There we go. So this is the one that I've been working on. In conclusion, reading every day is really important. So that is a transition. In conclusion, reading every day is really important. That was my claim. So I've restated my claim. Setting aside 20 minutes to read increases vocabulary and background knowledge, makes the reader more empathetic to others' emotions, and can help improve standardized test scores. So that is a restatement of my reasons. So those are the 3 reasons that I have given for why everybody should read 20 minutes a night. So I have a restatement of my claim, restatement of my reasons. What's my next thing going to be? What am I going to do next? Look here, I'm going to remind the reader why your topic is important. So why is my topic important? I'm going to bring up things like test scores being increasingly used by colleges, test scores helping you succeed in college, things like that, bringing all of those things in. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is the call to action. And again, that is the most important part. I am almost to the end of my page here. There's a good chance that I'm going to need another page. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make a new page just in case I need it as I am working. And then, okay, so here I have my over here. I have my introduction, my first reason, my second reason goes onto the second page, my third reason, and then I have my counterclaim that you looked at quite a bit. My counterclaim goes on to the second page, really honing it in. And then in conclusion. So I have to finish up my conclusion yet, because all my conclusion is so far is a restatement of my claim with a transition and a restatement of my reasons. So I have to go back and I have to do the last two things. I have to explain why my reason is important, remind everybody why my claim is important, and I need to call to action. So your job is to call to action. So your job is to make sure that your paper ends on this high note. So in conclusion, restate your claim. Then you're going to restate your reasons. Then you're going to remind why your reasons are important. And then you are going to call to action. So what things could I do to call to action? I can tell them to go to the library and find books to read. I can tell them to sign up for different lists to find books that they are interested in. I can tell them to talk with librarians to get ideas of books that they might like, talk to teachers to get ideas of books that they might like, and different things like that. I can do many things with that call to action, and you can do many things with that call to action. So that's going to be your job today. And you might need to talk with the people around you about what your call to action might be. And you might need to think about that some more. But that's what you're going to do today. Okay, so work on your conclusion. Make sure that it has all of the parts that we talked about. I am going to be sharing, I'm putting my PowerPoint, that PowerPoint in my plans so that your sub can put the sample and that list up on the screen so that you can use that to kind of reference, and they might need to like move it back and forth so that you can see it and you can understand. So that'll be there. But really think about what your call to action is going to be, because that is really what's going to bring your paper home. It's really going to be what makes your paper a claim that can be done, or a claim that's just going to sit in limbo and nothing's going to happen. So we want to make sure that people do what you want, and that's why we need that call to action. All right, so tomorrow you will have a different writing activity. You're going to get to set aside your persuasive writing until I come back, so that's going to be awesome. But for today, I want you to look at that conclusion. Do not try to turn in your paper. We're still looking at it. We're still editing and revising. They're going to be awesome. I know it. Have a wonderful day and good luck. Bye.